Beyond.
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 Come on, you gotta help us out. You got no.
Alana doesn't like it. She doesn't
Bernard. That's just my
Talk
friend.
about Beyond, about a podcast about Allison Brie, Brie Larson,
No!
and Brie the cheese.
Beyond.
Beyond.
Stop it.
Welcome
Delicious.
to Podcast Beyond. Episode doesn't have a number because this is one of our holiday episodes.
Yeah.
Non-denominational holiday episode.
Merry
like a lot
Christmas,
of
you bunch of Christmas crackers.
IGN takes a week or two off in between Christmas and New Year's. A week or two in between Christmas and New Year's. I don't know. That fluctuates.
Yeah, we take a few days to bend time.
And so we're not in the office,
perception
but we wanted to make sure that
Andrew's actually
we love
the Prince of Persia.
We love
right
all of
over
you,
there.
and this is just an awful episode.
Should we start
right from
over?
the get-go. No,
I
we're
like
gonna
this.
keep going.
It's great.
Yeah, we wanted to do something.
We got Christopher Crosstalk over here.
Yeah,
trying to talk to
there's not a lot going on in between them, so we're gonna do an entire episode that is questions from the Facebook group.
That's right.
My name is Marty Saliva.
That's
joining
what we're
me,
gonna do this
Yeah,
episode?
joining me is Andrew Goldfarb.
Hey, Marty.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
You got a lot of XOXOs on your shirt.
Oh, I do.
That's not the name of this podcast.
Oh.
Coming back, Alana Pierce.
Hey.
Hey,
Coming back.
wearing a Podcast Unlocked shirt, which I still don't have, which is real offensive.
I don't have a Beyond shirt order.
Zach Ryan.
That's me.
Yeah, that is you.
In a thing.
You're wearing a
so
real
quiet
cool.
and calm.
Thank you.
You're going. We can.
Well, I got called out from all my crosstalk, so I gotta.
Zach Ryan, who's going to Japan in a couple hours. Yep. And Brian Altano.
And a partridge in a pear
Brap.
tree.
Brap.
I got mad at your crosstalk, but not your talk in general. You can still talk, just don't crosstalk.
Still allowed to talk.
Yeah, you can be a Christopher regular talk.
Oh, Zach never met me.
Sorry, Brian. We all don't do 19 hours of podcasts a week like you do.
Yes, you do. You're on literally every one of our shows here.
I was on 4 podcasts.
You're a liar. You go from the Podcast Unlocked show where you're like, I really feel like Xbox has the most dominant holiday season.
That's exactly
and
what I
you come on Beyond
said.
and you're like, PlayStation's really the one to beat this year.
And then I was on NBC yesterday. I was like, well,
Yeah.
things aren't going well, guys.
Exactly. And then you're on Ouya-cast, which is 90 minutes of just crying.
It's just 90 minutes of white noise.
Yeah. Brian, each and every week we do a segment called Rapid Fire.
That's
where
right.
You hop in the Facebook group. This is real weird.
Yep.
You hop in the Facebook group and facebook.com/.
I don't hop in there. I would say
Podcast Beyond.
I do a leisurely stroll into
Yeah,
it.
I would say you sit down.
Yeah, which is a really great Facebook group. Over 10,000 members.
That's right.
Probably 9,000. Like 40 of them are great. There's 60 of you that are just terrible. But
Yeah.
the rest of you.
One's super racist.
Six.
We'll get rid of him.
We ask you questions. Usually we do like 4 or 5 of them, and today this is literally the entire thing. So we're gonna do this until we're tired.
We're going to dedicate this to our audience who has been just phenomenal to us this year.
Seriously, this year, I mean, this is the year we took over the show. Like,
Yeah.
we took over the reins from Greg and Colin, and that was a monumental task, and what they built was incredible. It was
Of course.
one of the greatest podcasts in video games.
Yeah, and I think very early on we realized and decided and knew we didn't want to do just like a cover band version of their song. So we just wanted to do our own thing. And thank you all for being receptive and being awesome. The audience has been phenomenal. People really, really love our version of the show.
Yep.
And we love and respect the old version of the show. I realized my Facebook did that thing where they told me like a year ago today I was doing this. A year ago this week I was in Toronto for Frank Furlano, who is the Children's Wish Foundation recipient, who of all the wonderful people in the world he picked to see, like athletes and stuff like that. He decided all those people are worthless and to send me and Greg and Colin. So that was super bizarre. That was a year ago this week.
Yeah, I remember that. That was incredible.
tremendous
That
honor.
was one of my favorite episodes of the show.
So this episode's dedicated to Frank and to our wonderful audience for being awesome this year. And,
Also, Max can't be here because I don't know, he's working, he's doing stuff.
He's
Max
home
wanted to be here. He
sleeping.
was
He's
real
home
sad.
sleeping.
When
Yeah.
we said that we were doing this, he was real sad.
Yeah.
We had our holiday party yesterday, and we
him and his dog both have diarrhea at the same time.
This is what happens when one of you are gone.
We have a running joke about that.
Brian.
That's right. So,
his dog is so
welcome
cute,
to Rapid Fire, which is not going to be quick. It's going to be a full hour long or however long this goes. And I don't know. We're going to go on tangents. It's going to get weird. I don't know how much of this will even be PlayStation focused. We're just going to have a fun time in here. So it's Christmas. Make a drink. Pour a hot glass of milk.
Toddy.
Get a big hot milk. Just fall asleep. William Craven says, what games do you guys plan on catching up on while on break? Alana, let's start with you.
Bully.
Bully.
Wow. Well, to be honest, that was not.
Not what I expected.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why?
I have no idea. It's just like since I've been reviewing games for 3 years, it means that I don't get to play old stuff, and I've just wanted to play Bully for such a long time.
Have you never played it?
I played about 3 hours of it. But my plan for this holiday period is to finish Bully.
So
what system are you gonna play it on?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I have it on 360.
Yeah, there's
the
like
scholarship edition,
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
yeah.
Yeah, that's Bully.
I mean, it still kind of plays pretty bad. Like the loading screens are ridiculous, and saving's a pain in the ass, and there's a lot of weird bugs and glitches, and generally moving is hard.
Bully's
but
still
great game.
It's still my second. It's still my second favorite Rockstar game after Red Dead.
I don't remember when that was announced because it was a super long time ago, but I feel like people would have been like, there is no way that they can make people like that game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, they
so
did.
I'm now convinced that Rockstar can do anything.
It's probably the best atmosphere they've ever pulled off, honestly. And it feels
the music?
The music's incredible, and it feels like Rushmore, and it's just
really it's
There
lovely.
was this really brief moment where I thought the Rockstar was going to be the sort of like video games M-rated Pixar, where like every year or two they would knock it out the park, but in a very strategically different way.
That's super interesting. Yeah.
Like they went from table tennis to Bully, and then they did a lot of like GTA games, which are awesome. I mean,
this is the first time we've ever reframed, or you reframed a shot. What are you doing?
I'm also a video producer, so I have to check the audio levels while we're talking.
But like around the same time, they did Chinatown Wars, which is my favorite GTA. But then they did GTA 5 and GTA Online, and those
And
things
Red
have
Dead.
kind of and Red Dead, and you know they're all kind of Red Dead's obviously a little different, but you're laughing. I don't know why.
Because he looks
goofy.
I look great.
He just looks really
Yeah, I miss Rockstar that
feel good.
took risks and did weird new IPs like Warriors.
Yeah.
And like I'm bummed that we're probably never going to see Agent or the Horror of the Orient or I mean that was Bondi, I guess, which is a little bit different.
Yeah, that was.
Did
I mean,
that
you
get
probably.
officially
it was
canceled?
Bondi.
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 Was it an Australian
It
thing?
was Team
Yeah.
Bondi.
Look,
Go
not
to
all of
hell.
us. Not all of us speak Australian.
Famous
Famous
pronunciation.
beach.
Is it the
Where?
Sydney.
Oh.
Oh, are you talking about Tilly in the Wall or whatever? What was that video you made me watch?
Punchy and
From
bowling goal.
I thought the
think
most
Tilly the
famous
Wall's up
beach
there.
in Australia was Fire Spider Cove.
Yeah, that's another
Den of
fan
the
favorite.
Tarantula.
Yeah, we love that one.
That's the DLC.
So, Andrew, what are you going to be playing over break?
Thank you, Zach. I'm not doing that job.
Metal Gear and The Witcher.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
that's a pretty good
And,
choice.
and Persona. Probably that's real.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, we have.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
Shorty
playing?
got down.
You're kind of caught up on 2015,
Yeah, I'm
right?
kind of
Marty?
caught up. I mean, we have our Game of the Year voting, which is going to happen right after we get back. Fallout's a big thing. I've played some Fallout and some Witcher, and I want to put more time into it. The other nominees I've played.
God, I guess I'll play more Fallout. I want to be Tomb Raider, which I've really been enjoying.
It's real good.
I guess I'll play more Fallout. Like I don't know.
This is a weird concept.
You seem real sad about that.
You don't have to
I
play
love
something you don't like.
No, it's not that I don't like it.
Like
I
life
haven't
is
really-
short and the world is small.
I haven't talked about this yet, I guess here, but like Fallout for me is so glitchy that it's to the point where like I have like things in missions that are supposed to happen aren't triggering.
Wow.
And I keep having to go back and redo progress. I've had to do it like 3 times.
Are you playing on Xbox?
On PS4.
That's
So it's just like
That sucks.
I had there's a mission really early. This isn't like spoilers or anything, but early in the game, you go into a house like an apartment,
That's
and you're
spoilers.
exploring. It's like very minor
I'm
spoilers.
kidding. I don't care.
And there's
In the house, they're showing all of Star Wars Episode 7. You don't understand. It's
there's a button someone hits and it opens a wall. And then he's like, "Oh, that's an interesting place to hide a room or whatever." And that didn't happen. I hit the button and just nothing happened. But he still said that line. And I thought I was a crazy person.
Who is
I was
it,
like
Nick?
looking around. Yeah.
All right,
And
everybody,
so
it's me, Nick.
I had to redo that mission. And then there's a thing right before that when you're going to get
Let's
Nick.
find
where
your
it's a-
dog, see?
It's a shootout in a subway tunnel.
Yep.
And the last guy I had to kill fell through the floor. And so I
Damn.
couldn't kill him. And
Yep.
so I had to redo that whole sequence again. It's just like.
that sucks.
And like that's only in total probably like an hour of time I replayed like with like all of that combined. But
yeah, but
still,
I mean,
it's just annoying.
nobody's gonna
like,
blame you for giving up
Yeah.
if your
Right.
game
And, like,
doesn't function. You know.
I know it'll be fine. I know that's like I am one of the only people I've talked to who have had problems that
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, totally.
Like a lot of people have weird stuff, but I'm.
Dog meat just gets stuck in walls all the time.
I see a lot of that. Yeah.
But I find it funny mostly.
There's an awesome article that I think was
Stub
on.
dog.
It was on The Verge. Chris Plant wrote about how he had this elevator
yeah.
that would just never was either that he couldn't get off or that he couldn't get on. But he just couldn't continue his game.
Yeah, God, that was a really
you guys
great
understand.
article.
It's all part of the Bethesda's charm. They're going to patch it, and their fans are going to make a better version. So
Yeah,
don't worry about
see,
it.
that's the thing. Like, I feel like we've talked
Yeah.
about it kind of to death, but
Yeah.
in a year when Fallout is patched and it's not glitchy anymore, is it something that you're interested in going back into playing? Or?
I have never put more time into a single save in a game than I did in Fallout 3.
Yeah,
like
same.
300 hours in that
I
game.
kind of wouldn't be surprised if I was the same.
And that's the thing. Like I love the series and I love what I've played so far. It's just like in a year when it's so busy. I just like the idea of sitting there and redoing something I've already done. I was like, I would rather just play Battlefront, or I would rather play
Fallout is the
Tomb
kind of
Raider.
thing you can play over a really long period of time, though. Like, it's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
hard game to pick up and keep playing, whereas The Witcher,
Totally.
you kind of can't.
No,
And
that's not
Bloodborne.
true.
Bloodborne's been really hard to come back to.
Oh,
feel
I
like
had
I've been
the same
playing-
problem with Bloodborne.
I feel like I've been playing The Witcher all year, like
Really?
off and on. Yeah, like
Really?
that's a game to me. Like in between bigger releases, like I'll set down The Witcher to go play Metal Gear or to
Yeah.
go play Tomb Raider, and then come back to it and feel like I, didn't
Sure, I
miss any
hadn't
time.
See,
tried.
that's,
I just
that's
like
interesting.
it.
I've actually wanted this thing in video games for a very long time, where it's just like universal across the board. It knows when you've been gone for long enough that when you come back, it's sort of like previously on The
Until
Witcher.
dawn.
The Witcher
Yeah,
actually
catches you up. You know,
The Witcher
like
actually does that plot wise. Like it's actually really good about it. Runs these little animated cutscenes that tells you like the last big story beat that you played through.
It's smart.
So it's like
Yeah.
Whereas
you know,
Until Dawn does it in a kind of annoying way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where it's like every hour. It
Yeah.
reminds you, and sometimes the stuff that you're watching again is stuff that you aren't going to forget.
And
I'm
it's
not going to
sucks
forget
because
the girl
it
falling off the
happens
cliff.
when you're while you're playing it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't need
all the
that.
time.
I'm literally
You
still
haven't
playing
stopped
it.
do you guys
playing.
ever watch shows on Netflix that were like made for TV that they put in the commercial break, but it's not actually there? So it'll show you like 20 seconds of stuff,
Yeah.
and then go to fake commercial,
it'll
and
be
then
that
come
same-
back and show you that same 20 seconds again.
Because
It's
you've
like
forgotten that 3
previously, and
minutes.
it's just like, am I crazy? This happened less than a minute of real life.
Most wild deja vu ever.
Yeah, there's a what game is that? There is a game when you turn it on, you do see. There's a game that did that, and I
Yeah.
don't know why it's blank.
There was a RPG. I think it was.
Oh, it's Final Fantasy 13.2.
Yeah.
Does it. Every time the loading screens of 13.2, when you turn it back on, it shows you like what you just did,
Yeah,
which is
it's
actually
fun.
super helpful.
Actually, I
Zach?
think there are quite a few games that sort of do that.
The catchy
in,
look.
Yes.
Yeah.
in the cutscenes.
And Bioshock Infinite does a really smart thing on loading screens. It's
loading
a
screens,
still
yeah.
image,
Yeah, that's
but it
the-
has at the
text.
bottom.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
a few games. do
Weird. Did you guys? It was randomly when I was thinking of loading screens. So Namco had the patent on
Yeah.
the interactive loading screen with Galaga,
Which
Was
meant
it?
that like it was a video game you could play during a loading screen.
And
Namco
that,
owned that.
And that
One of the Dragon Ball games has
that patent just went up, or that
Which
patent
was-
just expired. So
As
like
of when?
like literally within a week or two.
Okay, because for some reason, like Splatoon got around that. Splatoon had a
Oh,
little
yeah.
8-bit, like
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
like Kirby end of the level jumping style game.
I mean, it's also like Assassin's Creed does that. Like you're in the Animus and you're just running around. You can't
Yeah.
really do anything, but you're just
yeah,
running
that's
around.
not really
Your
a
character
game,
runs around.
mini game. That's
That's my
just
favorite part of any Assassin's
No, I mean
Creed.
it's as much of a game as going
It's
over.
running in.
9.5 IGN.com. Coming
right.
to PlayStation 4 on January
Zach,
2012.
Tiger Bauer wants to know.
Now hold on now.
No, don't worry about it.
We didn't find out what
No,
we're all playing.
so here's
Some
the
of
thing:
the
we
rapid
stopped
fire ones we
caring.
don't go all the way around.
Hold on.
Tiger, now hold on now. Tiger Bauer asks, if you could be any kind of dinosaur, what would you be? See, are you mad now that I powered right through that and got right through a question directed at you about dinosaurs?
I could never be mad about dinosaurs. What would
Keep in
I
mind,
be?
there's been tons of different dinosaurs. There's the Trocerotops. There's Ricky Rex. There's a Stegosaurus.
Stogonosaurus.
There's Brandosaurus.
so dumb.
Yes,
And
I
then-
don't know why I'm finding this so funny. I'm just
I think,
confused.
they're
I can't
broken.
stop laughing.
There's
and I
also
don't know
the-
They're
why.
broken like the rest
There's
of
the
us.
Archangela.
What was that?
I don't know. I would be I'd probably come as a velociraptor.
Why did you say
Do that.
Why did you
do
say you
that.
come? It's not a Halloween party. You don't get the.
It's not a cool dino party. I thought that's what we were talking about here.
Okay,
Sorry.
You want me a velociraptor?
I would be a velociraptor.
Do you know a lot
yeah.
of people know this about the Velociraptor, but that in real life he was actually the size of a chicken. real short animal, and he would lay eggs everywhere.
Yeah. Dino eggs.
He has feathers all over the pillows.
That's right.
Have you been reading the people's names actually? Or
Oh yeah, that's Tiger Bauer. That's,
Tiger Bauer?
yeah, that sounds like a dinosaur's name. It's actually a real
Congratulations
man,
on having a
No, it
kick-ass
sounds like
name.
That
I
sounds
know,
like
right?
a Primal Rage character.
right? That's an animal and a drug.
For
so
the
what-
love of Christ, can
What?
we?
Yeah. What dino would you be?
Me?
I just wanted to go to the next question.
I think I would probably be. Let me think. Probably was a. Who's the one that could fly?
Archaeopteryx?
Yeah, I would be the
Don't
pterodactyl.
pronounce the P.
I would be
Pterodactyl.
a big pterodactyl.
I'd be the father from the hit show Dinosaurs because he worked hard.
Earl?
Earl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be Earl.
Nice.
And his family
Earl
all
Sinclair.
died.
Do you guys know how that show ended?
Yeah, and with the Ice Age, it
Tragedy.
ended that entire family dying in that house.
Yeah, they died
Here's
in
a
the
better
apocalypse.
question. Here's a better question. Alana, do you remember that show?
I have no idea what that show is. I've never heard of that before.
It was a show that was
I'm like, oh
on.
man, I love dinosaurs.
It was on like it was a show that was all like puppetry and costumes and stuff, but it was on like TV. It was like a Full House
like a
or
primetime
Step by
show,
Step
yeah.
or Family Matters.
It was
Do
a
any of
sitcom.
those?
Nope.
So
Next question.
Yeah.
Death is upon us.
I think it's 2 strikes against her though.
No, I
It's-
mean,
it's
that-
age and location here.
I wanna know what a dinosaur young Goldie would be.
theater of the mind.
Hard, cold silence. Come on.
We have literally.
It's a pretty hard question.
There's only 12.
I'd be Brontosaurus. More than 12. I'd be Brontosaurus.
The other ones are just different versions of it.
I'm a real short boy, and
It's
I
like
get to
Pokemon
be real
evolutions.
tall with a real big neck.
Oh, you want to eat old leaves all day off the tree?
For the love of Christ, ask the next question.
Yeah, what's the next one?
Adam Wells says, what old IP would you want given a new release in VR?
Thank you for a video game question. Ooh, that's really good. PaRappa the Rapper.
That's a
I
good
want
one.
to hang out in that
Oh,
dojo.
that's my
I want
favorite
to drive that
dinosaur.
car. PaRappa Rappasaur.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I want weird PS1 stuff. I would love a
Yeah.
Katamari. Well, that's
Katamari.
PS2.
That's
I would love a
PS2.
Katamari thing.
How would that
Katamari would
work?
be-
I would love anything.
Like, would you be the one rolling?
I would love.
That's the V in that
That doesn't
VR
seem like a
stands
good
for
idea.
vomit.
Any like Kenta Takahashi game, like he's doing Watam now. Like that'd be a cool world to just like put that thing on your face and look around. Mm-hmm. Vib Ribbon, Intelligent Cube,
Viberin would be cool.
Brave Fencer,
I'm just
Mushashi.
gonna say Perfect Dark.
Yeah. All right.
Play that in VR.
But
That
there
could
were-
work.
Yeah.
Banjo-Kazooie?
Oh!
Michael Ham says, I need to know if Goldfarb is still infatuated with Alexandra Daddario.
No.
Really?
She
You're
follows
over
me on
it?
Twitter still.
She follows your Twitter still?
You were absolutely
I don't know why-
infatuated.
I call her voice
She
do
is.
that.
She was in True Detective. She was in
was
that
in-
movie with
in
The
that movie
Rock.
with The
Is that
Rock.
that blonde lady?
She
She's,
got
one
naked in the
blonde?
first season.
No.
she's doing
Easy Tiger.
the reboot of Baywatch.
Yeah, she's in the
That's
reboot of
that's who
Baywatch.
she was.
Yeah, but it's weird. She follows like 300 people on Twitter, and
She
one of
follows me
them's
on Twitter.
Andrew.
She favorited
cool.
a picture of a dog I posted once. That was weird.
Was that the dog, the W?
Was that why she followed you?
No.
Oh, that was
No, I don't know why she
dog?
followed. I think
that
she
was
followed me because a bunch of Beyond
Alexandra
people tweeted her.
Daddario.
That's it.
Richard Edward Fowler asks, what movie are you most expecting for 2016? Not anticipated. Just what movies from in 2016 do you think will definitely come out in 2016?
Civil War.
You think that one's going to come out in 2016?
Wait,
So,
we
yeah.
did. Did all you guys participate in that video?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So we
what?
did it around the office. You didn't participate in the video. We did around the office video
Sick about
of
dinosaurs.
movies and games. The movie and game we're looking forward to most next year. I said Night of Cups, which is a Terrence Malick movie.
Yeah.
I found out that most of the cool movies got picked for that, so I just looked up a release list on my phone and I saw Finding Dory, and I was like, movie I'm looking forward to most is Finding Dory.
Is
Because
that like Finding Nemo?
It's a
sequel, yeah.
Because it's it's gonna be
Nice.
real hard to find fish in the whole ocean,
She's got a real bad memory.
and she's
Yeah.
gonna talk to her friend who's good at finding stuff because he's
Was
been
Dory
lost.
Ellen?
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what other movies are you guys expecting for 2016?
I'm really excited for what is the Shane Black one with the pool scene we watched a bunch of times?
Oh my God.
Something Guys.
The
Night Guys.
wrong guys.
now,
something like
did
that,
that
yeah.
have a movie trailer or a poster that had the number 2016 in it?
Yeah.
So is that why you can confirm that you're
That you're
expecting it for
expecting it?
2016?
I'm expecting that one, and I'm
Yeah.
also expecting
seems-
Civil War because I'm a big Marvel dork,
Yeah.
and actually Doctor Strange. I'm really interested to see how that turns out.
You think
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna be a
think-
2016 movie?
Yeah, it is.
Expecting that. Yeah.
We can expect that.
It's expected for 2016. I think Doctor Strange is
and
my
then
pick.
Rogue One's the opposite one.
What about games? What about Madden 2017? Alex Forsyth says, "What is the
Persona
worst
5 is the answer anyway.
Shut up.
for this one? Are you sure? What is the worst video game gift you've ever received as a Christmas?
No, wait, no.
As
This is a really
Christmas
good
gift,
question.
yeah.
I like
Okay,
that
what's the question? Sorry.
The worst game you've ever received as a Christmas gift?
Ooh, okay.
Do you guys have Christmas in Australia?
No.
You call it St.
no.
Stephen's Day?
Yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
called National Bat Spider Holiday Hell. Chimney of
Actually
Terror.
pronounced Bondi.
It's called the Grand Crumble.
It's called,
And it's,
50th Indoor House Tornado of the Week. Your country's dangerous and I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, no, nailed it. All right.
Next answer.
Does anyone have a game they remember like being stoked for that was awful?
I wasn't really stoked for it, but when my parents finally bought me a Nintendo 64, they bought me the Sub-Zero Mythologies game
Oh.
because they couldn't find Diddy Kong Racing.
Man, it was just too
Well,
Yeah.
second.
I asked for Diddy Kong, and then when they couldn't find it, my mom asked the kid at the store, like,
That's-
what game would you get? And he was like, this Mortal Kombat side-scrolling beat 'em up. So that's what I had for the first month that I
That's
had
like
a
being
64.
like, hey, honey, there's no available reservations at the restaurant. Do you want to eat out of the toilet?
Also, like, did that problematic, like, Hindu elephant narrator from the game make the game disappear? And Diddy Kong Racing? Do you guys remember that dude?
Oh, yeah, he was
Yeah.
super
Yeah,
racist.
that was
What's that
Fun game.
Booty! That was also
Yeah.
first appearance. Banjo.
Was it?
Yeah.
And
that was before Banjo Kazooie.
Conquer.
And Conquer.
and
Conquer, who was
TT Clock.
Oh yeah, the titular hero
Titty Clock was all up in that game.
A little mousy mouse and like
That's a
rats.
clock. What tells you it's time for boobs?
It's funny. I also think about N64 because the worst thing was I was super stoked because I was a huge South Park fan at the time, and I got South Park 64.
That South Park game is so bad.
5 days before Christmas or something.
Yeah.
And I remember getting it, and I was like, "This is the best!" And it was running on the Turok engine, which was just like,
And the
it was
fog
10
is, like-
feet
But
in
how
the
good
fog.
was Turok though?
Really
I
bad.
love
It was really
Turok.
bad. No, we're
so good multiplayer.
We're gonna play it on
I feel like-
Christmas. You're gonna
did
realize
they-
how bad it is.
Did they write? I feel like they wrote something narratively to excuse the fog in that game.
They
Like,
mentioned it, yeah.
They were like, "Oh, there's pollution in South Park," and it's like, "Oh, you just have a crappy game engine."
So
You
that's one of those
liars.
games where like I got as a gift and I only got like 1 or 2 games a year. So like I got that game and I was like, I played probably like 30 hours back then. Like I
It's
maxed out
insane.
everything.
It was like a Turok 2 or Turok Rage War reskin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because
totally.
like
That's gross.
until literally this moment, I don't think I've ever realized that was a bad game. Because I played it, it was like
The
that
South
weird
Park
thing
game
where
or
like
Turok?
the South Park game.
Wow, it
'Cause
was
I had
real
to-
bad.
Yeah,
It was
real
bad.
bad.
It was
was
the
bad
only
too,
game
though.
I had for like months and months and months. So like I played through it and maxed out every single thing. And I guess now I'm like, oh yeah, that game's real bad. But at the
Yeah.
time I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
fine.
No, Turok was not a good game either.
I had fun with
I
it.
had a lot
I like
of fun
Turok.
with
No,
Turok.
I know, but it's not a good game.
I see. I don't remember that
Yeah.
Do you
one.
remember? You said multiplayer, so you played either 2 or Rage Wars because
two.
1 didn't have.
was 2.
Yeah, Rage Wars was just multiplayer.
What
It
was
had
the weird
cerebral
reboot one?
the one with like a Civil War, a racist Civil War general who came
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
was like a robot dinosaur.
Marty, while we have you, Michael
buddy.
Christopher Iglesias says, "Marty, is your depression as bad as you joke about? If so, let help you." He's going to help you through interpretive words, forming a sentence. And
No,
by,
This got real.
No, no.
no,
I
you're
think
happy.
you're doing pretty well
No, a
with
lot
it.
of people have like said like, man, it seems like you have a lot of cries for help on podcasts, and
Yeah.
it's
It's
humor.
jokes.
It's self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Your depression is helped by your rampant alcoholism,
Yeah, I've heard that's the thing.
That's good.
Yeah,
which is a depressant.
alcohol's really good for that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the
Moving
kitchen.
on.
I'm gonna drink.
Bold says, "Tuck or no tuck for your sheets." That could have gone a number of ways.
I don't have sheets.
I don't understand.
You don't have sheets.
Have you
Tuck,
ever
do you
had
tuck
sheets?
your sheets underneath your
Like when
mattress?
you go to a hotel. Have you ever stayed in a hotel?
I'll just rip them straight off.
Yep.
Just get rid of the sheets.
It's
Sheets
real
suck.
hard.
Yeah.
What did you use when you were in Australia? Was it the venom of fire wallabies?
Obviously, yes.
Okay.
Okay, just making sure.
Who could
All right, note that
possibly
down.
like tucked? I don't
No, I
understand.
hate it.
Like
It's
it's a
restricting
prison.
and annoying.
My
Oh,
thing
I
is,
hate that.
That's why I
do
just
it-
don't put sheets on my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put sheets. The only time I ever tuck sheets in is like if I just watch them and I'm making my bed for that first time.
Yep.
But then the minute I get into bed, I pull them out and kick
Yeah,
them
me
off.
too.
I don't
know
usually
why. I do
like.
that.
I've been a duvet guy for the last like 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
A duvet?
Duvet all the way.
I've been a duvet.
Yeah, I don't like talking to
duvet
sheets because otherwise you feel
Okay,
like
I
it's
have-
a hot pocket.
But
bed.
also,
I have a
Yeah.
question.
But-
I have a question. What is a duvet? What is a duvet?
It's a
But
thing.
it's
You
just
put a
a
cover on it.
blanket.
It's just a blanket.
It's
you
really
put it
just a
inside of
blanket.
Yeah, it's like it's sort of like a thicker blanket quilty thing that you put a cover and the cover's washable, and so you take the cover off and you wash
Beyond.
Exactly.
Duvet cat.
But also,
Appropriate.
the dangerous thing about duvets is every girl I've ever dated is just a like real selfish while she sleeps and just steals the duvet, and I wake up just cold
Just
and
freezing,
alone
yep.
all the time.
Why don't you get a Tuve? Luke Skywalker Morgan says, if you could go back and experience any game or movie for the first time again, what would it be?
Oh man. I just
That's a real
tweeted about
tough
this,
one.
but Skyrim. Like I would go back and do Skyrim
Really?
again for the first.
I want to start
Man,
a
I love
service where
Skyrim.
I bash people's heads
But
in
why?
with rocks.
Why
So
would
they
you
don't
want to do
remember
it?
things, so they
Like
can play the game
mine's
again.
Deadly Premonition,
Okay.
just because of like the story and the narrative. Like when I was experiencing that and trying to guess who the killer was amazing. Whereas Skyrim's like something that you can continue experiencing,
Yeah.
and it's not spoiled for you.
I don't know. I don't like your pick either.
Which game was yours?
Deadly
Deadly
Premonition.
The swearing game.
That's right.
No, I think it's just like that
an
sense of
interesting pick.
discovery.
Yeah.
Like,
Like the world being
I
new
haven't
and-
really felt that in any games, open world game since, and like that was the first game that I really felt like you could wander into a random cave and find a whole subplot that you wouldn't have otherwise. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
like it was the first game that I played where you would go and do these quests, and then you would take. Several hours later, you'd run into an NPC that would be like, "Hey, I want you to go get this thing for." Oh, I see you already have it. Good job.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah,
I-
that's why
see,
I love
this-
Fallout, but I still love Fallout for
Sure.
that. Like,
This question's always weird because it's like it doesn't really account for the contextual happenings of where
Right.
you are
Yeah.
in
'Cause
the
that's the thing.
universe at the time.
Like Mario
I-
64.
I was going to say
Yeah.
Mario 64, right? Playing
Yep.
that for the first time and being like, "Oh my god, like it's 3D." If you remove that memory from my brain, I've played 1,000 3D games
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, "Oh,
It's real polygonal though.
there he is."
yeah. No, I agree with that completely.
it's also a really good game.
It is a
Yeah.
good game. It's a great game.
I I think that's kind of along the lines of my answer too. Like if I could kind of go back to that moment, Mario 64 all the way. Otherwise,
I think the first time I saw it in like a Toys R Us.
Yeah.
And when like after 5 minutes they cut you off and
Yeah.
Charles Martinet said, "Thank you for playing Mario 64."
Get
Who's
out of the
next?
store.
I think
And he was
everybody.
actually behind it. He was there in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I think everybody had that moment with Mario 64 though. The first time that you see Mario
Yeah.
fully realized in 3D, like that for me was so huge.
That
It was like,
and-
oh, 3D gaming is actually a thing that can happen.
yeah, and GTA 3 was the other one that gave me that, where I was like, what?
GTA 3 was rad, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and that was just such a cool feeling at the time too. Of like, wow, I leaned real far away from my mic in that moment. But yeah.
I remember that game looking okay, and if I see any screenshots of it now, it's like, wow, that looked like complete trash.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember being amazed by
Totally.
how it
Yeah.
looked.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to just keep that memory.
Yeah, and
Like
just
that
not
you're-
ever look at it again.
Like my memory of a lot of 3D games is that they are like the most beautifully realized, amazing things ever made, and then I go back and look at pictures and I'm like, oh,
Well, that's why I'm happy Nintendo
Yeah.
has done like Mario 64 on DS or like Ocarina of Time 3DS and Majora's Mask. Because like if you go back and look at those games, they do not look great anymore. But like those actually are kind of more along the lines of how I remember them.
well, it's like
Yeah.
Hyrule Field
That's
to
actually
me.
really interesting that you remember it looking prettier than it actually
Yeah.
does. Like when I play Majora's Mask, I don't on the 3DS. I don't
Mosque.
think. Shut up.
Jesus.
Mask.
Majora's Mosque. It's religious now. Sorry.
But when I play that, I don't think, wow, this looks really good. I'm like, this is like it always looked.
Right.
Like, it never occurs to me that it looks better because in my head, it always looked that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I think when you're a
Hyrule
kid, you
Field.
fill in the blanks, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You think about Hyrule Field like it's like 100 million miles long.
Yeah.
And you go back to it and you're just
it
like,
is seriously the size of like, I don't know, like the main room, like the hub room in like Bloodborne. Like, it's like Hunter's Dream is
Yeah,
the size of
is the size of Hyrule Field.
Yeah.
Except there's like a couple ghosts pop out at night. There's a horse. You
Terrifying.
get some milk in the
There's
corner.
there's a
That's about
dumb like
it.
turnip helicopter that appears every
Yeah,
once in a while.
that's about it. There's really
I
not a lot
like that
going
guy.
on.
Yeah. The two things I thought of were for entertainment was Lost. I would love to go back and watch
my
rewatch
God.
Lost for the
Yes.
first time, and Journey because
Yeah.
it's real good.
Yeah, Journey would be a big one for me. The original Bioshock, I think, just that
Yeah.
twist in the middle, especially. It's just like
Yeah.
I had never. That was like one of the first like story twists in the game that had ever like hit me that hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, or Richard Kingston asks, what's your favorite Christmas movie and song?
Die Hard.
Die Hard's a great Christmas movie. I'm partial to Home Alone.
I like Home Alone.
I like Home Alone a
Home Alone's
lot because
pretty
it's
good.
basically
Actually,
live action Looney Tunes.
Every Christmas I watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Any Shane Black movie. Shane Black is just a really good writer. And he's directed a couple movies. He did Iron Man 3. He did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He's a new one coming out. Nice
wrote
Guys,
Lethal
I think it
Weapon.
is.
Yeah. All the Nice
He
Guys,
wrote
that's
all the
it.
Lethal Weapon movies. Yeah, didn't direct them. But yeah, one of his things, one of his like all of his movies have like specific tropes, and like one of them is it's set during Christmas. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is like one of the most
Yeah.
overt Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Yeah,
Gremlins is
Gremlins is a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very dark film.
Yeah. I think Bad Santa's one of the funniest movies made in the
Okay,
last
have you
15
watched
years.
it recently though?
Yeah, I still think it's funny. I mean, I watched it
Really?
at a bar and there were no subtitles.
Okay, so I just had this.
And there was no audio either.
I just watched.
And the TV was off.
I broke into the bar and stole all their beers.
Also, I was just asleep dreaming about it. No, I just had this conversation because we watched Bad Santa, like a bunch of my friends and I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, we're going to watch Bad Santa. It's hilarious. You'll love it. Like, come over and watch it. And we were watching it, and about halfway through the movie, she was like, well, I'm going to head on home. This is not funny. And I was
Wow.
like, okay. So she, like, left. And then I realized that the last time that I saw Bad Santa was when it came out, when I was, like, 18.
I've only seen it in theaters ever.
Which means my humor sensibility is probably a lot different then, and I feel like it's like a very dumb humor.
And then
Still
you
find
and
it
Melinda
funny?
put Frasier
No,
on
not really.
afterwards. Miles, get the dog off the couch.
Let's watch Sense and Sensibilities.
I will say my least favorite Christmas movie is A Christmas Story. I really don't like that
You
movie
are
much.
We're
insane.
not
like
friends
Bob Clark
anymore.
is one of the most. Bob
I've-
Clark made that and Black Christmas, which was the first slasher movie ever, and he made Porky's. Like the dude is so influential. That movie's incredible.
I have a
You're
theory that
awful.
no one's ever seen A Christmas Story straight through.
I've seen it
I
1,000
agree with
times.
that.
I see it all the time.
Straight through?
He's watching
I
it
watch
right
all
now.
the time. I'm watching it right now on Google
on
Glass.
Google Glass.
Oh, good. Great. What about songs? Does anyone have a favorite
Yeah.
Christmas song?
There's this stupidly awesome Dean Martin song called Marshmallow World.
Yep.
And it's just really dumb. And he sings these songs about like it's a yummy world made for sweethearts. And it's fun. It's a really dumb song, but it's even worse when you watch him perform it because there's this one performance where he just is sitting in an armchair smoking a cigarette the whole time. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's on live TV and he's just like, it's awesome.
Dude, I love those. Like, anything Bing Crosby. I like Sufjan Stevens' Christmas albums a lot.
That's a really good one.
The
Yeah.
Reliant K Christmas album, which we were talking about.
Surf Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were talking about
We
that?
were literally talking about the
2
three of us
days
were
ago.
talking about
I
that
remember
2 days
talking about
ago.
Reliant K.
I have a lot of
like
like bad just pop punk Christmas covers
Right.
on my computer. Just
Mary
Also-
Kate
You
and
mean
Ashley
amazing.
Olsen's
Yeah.
We Hate Christmas.
Yeah.
not that one. So I'm
Also, shout
a big
out to
song.
Vince Guaraldi's Peanuts special. Real good.
I did not hear the word peanuts.
Oh, yeah. He did a
You never
cool
saw,
penis special.
Vince Guaraldi's penis special?
I actually thought
He whipped it.
really cool
He whipped it.
I mean,
right
like
out.
that sentence kind of sounds like it works, right?
He whipped his Linus right out.
James Cunningham says most bizarre horse-related incidents.
That's for you.
Oh, I have a really good one. Actually.
You have a good horse story?
Yeah, I went to a when I was in Australia last year. I
Good place,
arrived.
good place.
I approve of this story. No, I landed and immediately had to go to.
Have you told her this?
I don't think I've told you this yet. So I landed. This is when I was still at Gearbox, and we had to go to a horse race called. What is going on? You got a guy.
No one ever says they have to go to a horse race.
Okay,
No,
are
so
you
here's the-
referring
gotta do
to
this
the
thing.
Melbourne Cup? You
Yes.
just introed that as, we had to go to a horse race.
So what is that in the
It's like
American
the
equivalent of? Like, we
biggest
had to go to the
thing
Super Bowl.
ever.
We got
I love
Yeah,
it.
it would be
invited.
like, I had to go to this football game called the Super Bowl.
We had.
Is what that
I
was
didn't
like.
know, and that's part of it. I didn't know the significance of this thing. So I land in Australia after the longest nonstop flight that you can do. I went from Dallas to Sydney, which was like 20 hours or whatever.
Literally the longest nonstop flight you can
Yeah.
do in the world.
And then I went from Sydney to Melbourne. So I landed after like 24 hours of traveling. I was like, didn't know what time, what year. I had no idea where I was. And they're immediately like, hey, the government invited us to this thing called the Melbourne Cup.
The government?
We can't. We were in the government box or whatever, and they were like, we can't turn down the ticket, and you have to bring a second person. And I was the only one.
Who
Like,
the
I was-
hell specified this?
You are such a weird ass dude. Like you have such a weird life.
It was someone from the government.
You're
So
such
I
a
went-
Michael Cera.
I had to go, like, again, right off the plane, had to go to get like a fitting for like a suit. Then you would wear like special, there are like special regulations for like what kind of suit you can wear.
hell?
Yeah, and so I wore like a really fancy suit with like a big long tail in the back, like you see in like Downton Abbey. I have a picture of it.
Yeah, it was a weird
like you
furry
look like a
kind
little
of.
penguin boy?
Picture. But yeah, so I went to this thing on like no sleep after flying, and we were in like the big fancy box. We had to go see the horses, and
Was there
there were people
finger
next
food?
to me betting. Yeah, there's a lot of finger
Probably.
food, a lot of free drinks. There were people next to me betting like $100,000 on horses, and I was like, I have $5 that I can put down. But it was
I
really
think the
cool.
brown
It was
one's gonna
awesome.
win.
So
It was a really cool
amazing
experience.
tangent here. This is one of my favorite things. Is that
Mm-hmm.
they call that the race that stops the nation. And this local radio station in the city that I'm from decided to hold their own horse race this year, and it was called the race that slows down the nation. And what they did was like went to this tiny little like town and had 20 people dress up in horse suits.
Oh my
And made
God.
them race each other. It was like the week after the Melbourne Cup, and they like on live radio kept calling like the mayor of the town, and they were just totally making fun of them the whole time. They were like, "So how many hotels do you have?" And they'd be like, "1," and they'd be like, "1. All right, this is gonna be amazing." And they just brought so many people to this town and made these people dress up in horse costumes and race.
That's awesome.
wild. It's
really good.
We have a similar thing during the Super Bowl called the Puppy Bowl, where they dress up puppies
I have
as
seen
football
that,
players.
and that's much better and more useful.
I have a cool horse story. When I was growing up, we went horseback riding with me and my brothers and my parents, and my dad was like real fat, and he got up on this huge black horse, like this thing that was just like a truck, just like this like just muscular, huge, brolic horse. My dad gets real big on his back, and the horse lets out this scream like "Roar!" and flips his legs in the air. My dad falls off on his fat ass on the ground, and then the horse ran off while pooping.
That was also a good horse story.
And my dad never got back on the horse. And then the lady was like, "I think you're too big for that horse." And my dad had to wait on the side while we all went horseback riding for the afternoon. I don't think I've ever told that story before.
Wait a minute. I find that really hard to believe. How have you nenever told that story before? Because that has two of your favorite things: horses and poops.
And fat dudes.
I have a great picture that we'll embed an article for this of
Okay.
Brian with a horse that I took in New York.
Oh, that was a good one.
was
That's a real good picture.
Can we make? No, I was gonna ask you if we could make the blog roll image you
Me
in
in my
your fancy
suit?
suit. Yeah.
I'll find it. I'll find a picture.
Welcome to the never most fun PlayStation podcast. Here's a man with jet lag dressed like a tuxedo penguin.
No, it's a really crazy scene.
Jesus.
Jim Sahota says, what is Beyond Crew's favorite albums?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
Enter the 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang,
Yeah, that's right
Nas,
there.
Illmatic, and Misanthrope by Brian Altano.
It's a little weird. I
No
like
bias.
Pinkerton. I like Weezer's Pinkerton a lot.
Okay.
I really like Mesmerized by System of a Down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that.
That's a good one. What do you listen to? I don't really know.
A lot of different stuff.
A lot of different stuff.
Favorite band is Under Oath.
You're such a handsome boy.
Your favorite band?
Yeah.
What about
We were just talking about Under Oath.
What about Darude?
Darude Sad Song is my
you
number
do
one
that?
favorite song.
I like The Doors' Soft Parade. I like Spoon's Gimme Fiction. Kanye West is one of my favorite. I've already seen this. Kanye West's Graduation. Yeah, 36 Chambers is up there.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I like the White Album a lot.
Have you ever heard the Grey album?
I've heard the Grey Album. Miles Davis' Sketches of Spain is my favorite non.
That's a really good
I
one.
think my favorite album is probably Sgt. Pepper by the Beatles.
Sgt. Pepper's really good.
Yeah, I also like Village Green
Preservation
by the
Society.
Kinks. Yeah,
Have you guys ever heard BB King's
Have
live?
you guys ever heard Misanthrope by Brian Altano?
it's a really good record, you guys.
BB King's live from Cook County Jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, BB King did this like blues album live in a prison.
Wow.
So like the warden gets on at the beginning and introduces him, and everyone's booing him because the entire audience is savage, ruthless prisoners. And he gets on and does his blues album, and like they all calm down for an hour. It's very, very beautiful moment in time.
Subtitle.
Yeah, I like Pinkerton by Weezer, like I said. Clarity by Jimmy Eat World.
Oh my god, I love
my
Jimmy.
God, Clarity is so good.
Man, it's weird not to be able to think of a bunch of good ones.
Deja Entendu
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
by Brandon.
Inner Speaker by Tame Impala. That's one of my favorite ones.
Soundgarden's Down on the Upside.
Yeah, we have a pretty solid
Yeah, we were good.
mix of music taste.
Earlier this week, I told Ben Janka that Justin Davis' favorite band of all time was Counting Crows, and that made Justin really mad.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you know that Ryan McCaffrey's favorite band of all time is Counting Crows? That's not a joke.
Really?
You got one executive editor. Also, I've been listening to
um,
Taylor Swift's 1989 for the past year on repeat.
The Ryan Adams.
That Ryan Adams
that's
was really good. Yeah.
Also, Giuliani Theory. Something everything is the name of that album.
Literally, have no idea
Something
what
Everything.
you just
That's a
said.
good one.
By the Rudy Giuliani theory.
By the Rudy Giuliani Theory. Yeah.
Ricky the Rat and the Racketeers. Nicholas Alexandre Blaine says best smooch in media history. The history of media, that counts
did
WMV
have
files
one
on your
Marty kissed
computer.
the PAX.
Yeah, Andrew and I kissed at PAX. Is that media?
Yeah, you're in the
Yes,
media.
media.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that counts.
That real nice soldier boy.
I guess like movie and TV kisses.
The old lady.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite movie
Real
TV
nice
kiss?
Soldier Boy. Oh, I thought you were referring to like the rapper
not
Soldier
Soldier
Boy.
That's what I
Boy.
thought. Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
kissed Soldier Boy one time.
Yeah.
I'm not really even into the
You
show,
then
but
Superman the hoe.
when Jim and Pam on The Office kiss for the first time,
Yeah.
that was kind of,
Oh my God, the
Yeah.
casino episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's really good.
kind of a
That's
magical
phenomenal.
moment.
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst made out with a whole lot of people in that first Spider-Man movie.
It was
Spider-Man,
literally just him, I believe.
Just the
Peter
one.
Parker,
Yeah.
the bully.
But you know, Spider-Man and Peter Parker are the same guy.
She did not know that. She kissed them
She didn't,
separately. She
yeah.
I
thought
don't
she
think
was having
I don't think
kisses
she
with
actually-
two different
I don't
men.
think she made out with a bully.
Yes, she did. She had a boyfriend
Flash
at the beginning of
Thompson.
that movie.
I don't think they make out.
It's
Well,
implied.
I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they have.
Did
yeah.
you forget
some
that
point-
whole Flash Thompson sex scene at the
you're-
beginning of Spider-Man?
You're
It happened so
nominating
fast.
An implied kiss.
Yeah. I like.
Yeah,
I also.
that
I like
counts.
every kiss in the movie Closer because it all ends in heartbreak, like everything in your life does.
Right?
Yep.
Alex Irish
point.
says
Oh, and one real quick one.
Right.
If you ever seen Garden
Andrew
State,
Goldfarb in the mirror.
Yeah, when I kissed the mirror. The Zach Braff movie Garden State. There's a scene where they're screaming into the abyss or whatever,
That's really
and
good.
she
Really good.
kisses
The rain.
Zach Braff. Now the apartment does. But if you watch the commentary of that movie, it's actually really funny because she's way shorter than him, and she talks. And now I can't like watch that scene without laughing because he's tall and he leans into like hug her, and her face is like straight up because it's like pressed into his arm. It's really funny.
That's
To tell
hilarious.
another embarrassing story, my mother-in-law told me that when my wife was very young, she came in with she brought laundry to her bedroom, and my wife was practicing how to do kisses on the wall. Yeah, that's what you get for marrying me. I'll fucking snitch on you. Joseph Farmer says crunchy or creamy peanut butter.
Crunchy.
Yeah, crunchy.
Yeah, crunchy.
Creamy.
I do the natural
I'm
stuff that
indifferent.
you got.
Oh, gross.
You're
no.
indifferent.
I'm indifferent.
I've heard
Peanut
that
butter's
you,
amazing.
on a real dark night, will eat an entire jar of peanut butter by yourself. Is that true?
It's not uncommon, yeah.
It's not in the common?
Aren't most
Happens
nights real
most
dark?
nights.
Yeah.
That's when the
all
sun
get
goes down.
dark.
Alex Irish
Hashtag
says.
not all nights.
Alex Irish asks favorite video game console design and why.
Ooh.
I love the slim PS2.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
that's my
Yeah.
PS2.
it's so small.
Yeah,
I love
it's,
I
like,
love the
incredible.
Wii. I think it was like just the way,
original
like with that
Yeah.
angular sort of stand that it's on. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's not a powerful system, and it doesn't have the best games, but it's like it
Honestly,
looks really cool.
Nice.
I think
looking thing.
PS4, like right out the gate, is like so great. Like
gorgeous.
the industrial design is so
Yeah.
perfect, and
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine. Like,
Still
I mean,
blows
they'll
my mind that
eventually-
it doesn't have power.
I know.
It doesn't have an external power.
Especially
Yeah,
because
that
it's like
still blows my mind.
I have
No
I
power.
have that and the Xbox One sitting
Yeah.
parallel in my entertainment cabinet, and the Xbox One just has this
It's
like
bigger and
is
has a brick
comically
bigger.
connected
large.
to
It's
it.
got this garish brick
Yeah.
connected to it.
Because
Crazy.
it's also like, for the love of God, we're not going to have another red ring. And
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big we
I
have to
know.
make this
True,
thing. We're
true.
not going to
Oh
have
no,
this.
actually, my first Xbox One like blew up. Something happened to the power brick where it sparked and set off. It cut off all the power in my house, burnt the carpet, and set off the smoke alarm.
Oh my
Australia
God.
is
Yeah.
so
Holy
dangerous.
cow. So
Wow.
dangerous
Insane.
out there.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
It's
Wow, that
classic
sounds real
Ned
scary.
I was
Kelly.
absolutely terrified. I thought I'd like broken the TV or whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah, it just needed to be replaced. But it wasn't something to do with the cables being loose. It's just like the power brick basically exploded.
Was that the
my
same
God.
day as the annual descending of the sky termites?
Yeah.
I really
also,
like the
did
I really
you-
like the Battlefront PlayStation 4.
Yeah, me too.
No, I'm just kidding. That's hideous, dude.
What?
Yeah,
I know.
it's so ugly.
Dude, I don't know, man. I saw it
Darth
at
Vader on it?
I saw it at PSX up and close, and it looked gorgeous.
I like the GBA Micro because it's real
I
small.
love
and it plays
GBA
really
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. That,
Forgot about
I
that.
actually
guy.
really like
love
the GBA SP. I have the,
The
NES
clamshell one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when they
You know this one.
Yep.
the little talking guy. When the DS Lite first came out.
Yeah.
After having used the fat DS, I was just like
Oh
so
yeah.
amazed by
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
thing. Like
I mean,
everything looked better.
Also
on it.
Vita. Like
I was
Vita's
about
cool,
to say
yeah.
that.
Especially the Slim Vita. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I know people stick by their OLED
Yeah,
with the
so do I.
original ones, but the Slim Vita is really nice.
Yeah.
It feels so much better.
Is that the one you have?
Yeah, that's the newer one.
Oh, nice.
And the non-proprietary charging port is the nicest thing.
I have the white Vita, and that thing is sexy. as
From the
hell.
AC bundle?
Yeah.
The you were talking about that the Xbox One was designed over the top to avoid ever running
Rendering.
into one of
Yeah.
those. Is that like a confirmed thing, or is that just something
Don't
we
think
suspect?
so.
It's not a confirmed thing, but like
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
mean this was they were
I'm
taking
sure
every
they
precautions.
have
Also,
always
that
had
thing,
plans to release a Slim
aside
as well,
from
though.
trying to kill Alana in her sleep, like
Yeah.
that thing runs silent.
It's whisper
It
quiet.
is
that thing
really
is
quiet.
silent.
No, it reminds me. There was this girl I went to middle school with named Julie, and she got hit by a car and broke her leg.
Okay.
No, and she's fine, but she wore neon clothes
That's what you get
forever.
for practicing kissing on your walls.
She wore neon clothes forever after that, so she wouldn't get hit by another car. So she was always just wearing neon. And that kind of reminds me of the way the Xbox One was designed.
Yeah, that's really
Are
similar.
you okay? What happened to you just now?
Jessica Bowen asked favorite book. If anyone remembers what those are.
Alana's
Sick
favorite
burn.
book is the Wheelman or whatever you were
Wait,
reading.
the Wheel of Time is really
I'm reading the
famous.
second book in the Wheel of Time series, and you keep making fun of me for it. And it's like a really popular book series.
Yeah.
You're like, look at you reading book, you nerd. Yeah, like a million other people.
I read a lot of
Like
books.
you keep
so that-
making, people
I
keep
didn't
making
actually,
fun of me for this bag that I
Alana's
carry.
favorite books are Goosebumps because in Australia they're true.
Also, make fun of your bag because it says the crew on the side.
It's just it holds stuff, you know. It's a good
Marty,
bag.
can you even read through those broke ass glasses?
Don't mansplain what a bag is.
is
Yes,
to
I
me.
mean my glasses are real bad right now.
Yeah.
I was shooting a video the other day with CJ, who's a new video producer, and he's like, can you clean your glasses? I'm like, no, it's just the enamel. It's like they're literally scratched.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing.
Can we
Literally.
just let's just get you a phone and some glasses, man. Like we walk. So we wow.
Hey, what do you need, a GoFundMe? Like, what's going on?
Between bars, there's AT&T stores. There's glasses.
Do we need to get you a
Between
Patreon?
bars.
No,
Like, let's just take a break from
After
it.
2 weeks ago, I complained a long time about the fact that Alana had a nicer laptop than I do. I'm getting a new laptop.
All right,
Well, my
moving on
my
up.
laptop doesn't
Congratulations.
connect to Wi-Fi. So.
Good.
Andrew,
Suck
you need
it,
to be
Australia.
like, hey, Marty, let's go check out this bar, and then just bring him to the Genius Bar. And still give him alcohol so he stays, but still.
But
What
to,
if we
to
make it a
actually
real cool
answer that
adventure with a
question,
flask?
Yeah.
do
Wait.
we read books?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the Mistborn series. Wise Man's Fear is a really good book.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good books. I feel like I'm the only one answering this.
No,
Yeah,
we were just
Karen.
starting with
Yeah.
you.
I miss reading terribly. Like I love reading, but I just never do. Like it's
Yeah.
like that weird thing where I don't read for pleasure anymore, and I hate that because I really enjoy it. I mean, that might
I
be
read
one
on
thing I try
planes
and do.
mostly.
I'm reading
Yeah.
a lot of
Planes are
Star
a lot,
Wars
yep.
stuff now. Like I'm reading the Star Wars costumes book. I'm reading a Making of Return of the Jedi book, and they're kind of like glorified adult picture books, but there's enough words in there to make me feel like
Yeah.
I'm
It's
doing
weird
something with
how
my brain.
Not like the last few books, but a lot of books I liked are now becoming movies. Like I loved Room by Emma Donoghue, which is now a movie that I guess you saw.
Civil War.
Civil War. That
really
role.
good
Paul,
arc.
Paul Blart 2.
Yeah, Paul Blart too. Yeah, great.
Sausage Fest,
book.
which is evidently a movie coming out next year.
Minions.
There's The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls is like a
I
memoir
love that.
about growing up homeless. I guess they're making a new movie now. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and I love Dark Tower. Which
Yeah,
I'm
we did Dark Tower. That's super
excited for. Idris Elba.
Stephen King book that they're making possibly in a movie with Matthew McConaughey and
Idris
Idris
Elba.
Elba. Any Murakami book, he does magical realism, which is fantastic. I read a lot of David Mitchell. I read a lot of Jeanette Winterson. I like magical realism a lot.
Yeah.
Read that. Also,
what is that book you told me to read? It's like it's real famous. It's like the sort of Harry Potter with like older kids.
The Magicians.
Magicians.
Yeah.
By Lev Grossman.
Yeah, by Lev Grossman, who's he writes about games for time. It's Harry Potter. If Harry Potter was about actual 19-year-olds who got these powers and used them for very bad things.
Wow.
Sounds
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
totally
I have
great.
the whole trilogy.
It's incredible. It's
Ooh, also the
being
Night
made
Angel
into
trilogy. Very good.
Which one? Banana Trilogy?
Night Angel trilogy.
I don't know what that is.
What did you say? Banana Trilogy?
It's really
I thought
good.
she said
The Banana Boat trilogy.
Yeah, it's 30 plus.
I like Cavalier and Clay a lot.
Yeah.
That's a really good book. And I like Jonathan Safran Foer has written some of my favorite books. I like Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close a lot. Yeah, House of Leaves. You guys ever
Oh my
read
God,
that?
yeah.
It's such
Yeah,
a
House of
gnarly
Leaves is
book.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very cool.
Yeah, he's a nice Polish boy.
Edward Hooten asks, which game from this year did you want to love but just couldn't? I feel like we've talked a lot
So
about
far,
games
Fallout.
here.
Fallout.
Yeah.
For me, it was Batman probably.
Yeah, Batman.
Yeah, Batman
yes,
too.
Batman
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I love the first two Arkham games, and I love
Obviously.
how Arkham Knight looks. I just am
And I
not a
love
fan
the
of its-
beginning of Arkham Knight. Like everything until you get the tank, I was super on board with. I
Yeah.
just like once
Yeah.
it is all tank all the time, I just like wasn't
It's
gripped
just
by
the
it
thing
at
is
all.
it's not even fun. Like the whole mines thing. It's like, well, you're gonna have to fight 16 tanks now again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just-
What-
Yay.
It reminds
Yeah.
me, like, I don't like,
Yeah.
I think it's the problem I had with the first Tomb Raider, like the reboot, and actually even The Last of Us. The reason I don't like the combat is because it's just so, and Bioshock Infinite's super guilty of this. It's go into a room, fight a bunch of guys, go to the next room, exact same thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
story beat, repeat. And it's just like Batman.
Well, I feel like Batman's not like that.
No, not
when
at
you're
all.
not in a tank.
Yeah, totally agree.
No.
I was
Normally it's
actually
Yeah.
kind of an apologist for the tank stuff for a while, and then it finally got to the point where it broke me. And I think specifically it was that really tall vertical tunnel where you had to drive the tank down the side of the wall and then just
Oh yeah,
stop
that's
these
right near
like
the end.
yeah,
you
you
have to
have
jump
to
out, stop
yep.
a fan, jump
The-
out,
yeah,
stop
stop the
another fan.
fans from
Yeah.
like chopping you up.
Yeah.
And I remember just getting out on every floor and then just looking over and seeing my car hanging on a rope and being like, this is dumb. I know this is a dumb game about a dumb guy who has a dumb origin story and the whole premise is stupid, but I love it. Like, I love the idea of it all, and I love comic books and video games and stuff like that, and this is just stupid. I actually like this, to answer this guy's question, like, I didn't like just get disappointed by this game. I got like angry at it.
Yeah, I
Like
did.
by the end of it, especially when I finished it and it was like, here's half of an ending, you get the rest by 100% again. I
That
was
is
furious.
such crap.
I thought that was like, I mean, I had already put in like what 15, 16 hours into the game by then, and it was like, just give me what I came here for. Like,
Yeah.
don't make me 100% this.
Yeah.
It's a good answer. All right.
Yeah,
great
there we go. Howard Xander Shelfer says, favorite salad dressing related. Any good recipes for homemade salad or salad dressing?
Cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like balsamic vinegar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
balsamic vinaigrette.
That's my jam too.
I used to be, as a kid, I was a Thousand Island boy.
Yeah,
Thousand Island
yeah.
boy.
The older I get, the less I want like kind of like heavy cream
creamy-
dressing.
yes,
I don't want
totally.
I don't want a thick creme everywhere in my lettuces.
Unless
you-
the Caesar salad, that's about the only time I
what
ever
was
want
your
cream.
what
I
dressing? did you
actually
sell?
use cottage cheese as a dressing, basically.
Cottage cheese is good.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean, I don't put dressing on salads when I make them at home most of the time. I'll put in like a bunch of good stuff. Like I'll put like goat cheese and I'll put like little
it's like other stuff that
cranberries
still has
and-
flavor that-
yeah.
I saw
Spice
a
somewhere.
kid throw up cottage cheese in 3rd grade and haven't never eaten it since. Yeah,
I so wish you hadn't told me that.
I'm sorry. I mean,
I'm already really bothered by the word curd for some reason.
Yeah.
Like every
Yeah.
time that I read curd, I'm like, ugh.
Well, even like cottage
Curd.
cheese.
like if you
What's
think
wrong
about
with
real weird
cottage?
It's just like a weird house where like,
No, that sounds
ladies-
great.
How is this the second
Cottage
time in an hour we've
cheese.
talked about this, and you weren't
About
here?
cottage
I don't have
cheese.
to tell you.
Where does his name come from? Isn't it weird?
I like sesame dressing. I like oil and
Yeah.
vinegar, stuff
Yeah.
like that's pretty simple. Sometimes you can just take a little. If you want to make dressing at home, it's really simple. It's basically just like a bitter and then oil and then something kind of sweet.
You can
And
put,
take lemon and then olive oil and a little honey
Yep.
or something that works.
If you put pepper at the bottom before you mix that stuff, so you put like a little bit of pepper at the bottom, put in a little olive oil, and then whatever you're mixing it with, it kind of like adds some stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, I do like olive oil and like a little bit of Dijon mustard and honey, and that's really
Yeah,
good too.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mostly You can use a blender for this stuff too. It's great.
On Beyond, we can talk about the salads we enjoy with our brie.
Yeah.
Keep it locked.
Aaron B. Rowland says, if you could pick IGN up and put it down in a different city,
New York
which
City,
one
New York City,
and
New
why?
York City.
New York City.
New York
No
City.
question.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Austin.
Why
Shut up.
Chicago?
Because Chicago's
Serious?
the
I
best
love
city on the
Austin,
planet.
man.
And
Better
are
than New York?
Yeah, Chicago's New York City, but without the just horrible, terrible human beings.
Oh, shut up.
Oh,
Salt
God.
of the
Yeah,
earth.
they're all great.
I agree.
Chicago.
Also,
Salt of
shut
the
up.
earth. Yeah. I confirm. I
What?
second shut up. The people are real there. Everyone in New York's a phony. It's like San
Oh,
Francisco.
that's bogus,
No,
dude.
no. That could not be. No, that's wrong. You're an idiot. And I just
Fans,
called you
fans
that
in
'cause
New
I'm not
York
phony.
tweet at McBiggity.
I saw Jessica Jones. Kilgrave's a bad man.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fine. I saw Ninja Turtles. I guess they're real too, right? I wish they were.
I would say Brisbane because that's where my puppy is.
Wait, but
Oh,
we actually used to be
Sorry.
down in Brisbane.
We were in Brisbane, California.
Yeah.
So I don't think our puppy is there.
No, my puppy's not there.
That'd be really sad if your puppy was only like 20 miles away.
What kind of puppy do you have?
The chocolate lab.
It's really
Oh
cute.
man! So when did you get this puppy?
She's like just over a year old.
And then you got this dog, and then you moved.
And you put up a real cute video. You took her
Yeah.
to
I
work.
took her to work. Yeah,
It was really cute.
She's so
and she
cute.
ate a bunch of chicken nuggets.
The
When do
best
you-
part of that video is that she picks up her lead when she walks up the stairs.
really cute.
She puts her lead in her mouth and then gets to the top of the staircase and drops it again.
What's a lead?
It's a leash.
Oh, it's a leash.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You're fine.
I didn't know. When do you get to see your family again?
I have no idea.
Oh man.
That's a really depressing question.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
No, I mean,
So when are you
just-
seeing your family?
Welcome
again?
to
I don't-
Realcast.
I don't know.
No, because I mean, like I know, like Goldfarb and I moved. Did you move? You moved across the country for this job, right? Mm-hmm. So did I, and it was just like
I actually moved across the country to contract here before I even knew if I had the job.
Yeah. No, I hadn't until a month ago. I didn't see my family for all of 2015. I just hadn't had any. I was traveling everywhere like crazy. So yeah, no, I know how hard that
I'm
gets.
hoping to see my family in May, but it's hard because I mean Australia is really far away
It's really
and a lot
far.
more expensive than flying domestically in the US.
What's a flight to Australia cost?
I don't know, like 1,500-ish.
If it makes you feel better, it cost me $1,500 to fly to Newark, New Jersey last year.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. I'm not going home
What the
for
hell is
Christmas.
Newark?
It's
It's the grossest airport in the world.
like if a toilet could talk and yell about how gross other toilets smell, that's what Newark
It's
would be.
the toilet in the
How
spooky
do you
level
spell
of
that?
Banjo-Kazooie.
Newark.
like an aardvark.
Yeah.
Just like an odd
Not even a little bit like an aardvark.
Newark is what happens if you put an airport in a swamp. Like it's basically that scene
Sounds great.
from Empire where they have to get the X-wing at a Dagoba's toilet town, and Yoda's out there and he's like, "Oh, that's Newark, New Jersey." It's gross.
I was flying back and forth
got that
from New York to Texas a lot and from New York to here a lot, and I did occasional 5 a.m. flights out of Newark, and it's like dead.
Yeah.
And it is like the weirdest airport to be in the morning. It's just like the lines are weird and the people are
Yeah.
weird. It's really bizarre.
Have you been to the Hawaiian airport?
I've been to Honolulu.
You have to walk like 40 minutes to get to your
Oh,
gate.
yeah,
yeah, it's
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. You have
It's
to
a
walk
huge
so
airport, yeah.
far.
I've ranted a bunch of times about Heathrow Airport because they don't put the gate where your flight is until 30 minutes before. So you have to stand there and wait and like eat and wait, and then they put the gate on, and like some of the gates are really far away from where the sign is, and then you have to run like
Yeah,
30 minutes to
that
get there.
sucks.
It's really dumb. Also,
But back to puppies.
Back to
we can
puppies.
talk about puppies. I don't know. I was going to say something that was actually an answer to the question I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Back to you. Danny Juarez says, "Is Goldfarb a real sad boy by giving his Ness amiibo to Anthony Carboni? Also,
No, it's
can I
not
send him mine as a gift? You know that people giving
No.
things away is kind of a sign of things not going well for them.
No, everything's fine.
Did you actually give Carboni your Ness Amiibo?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's got 7 of them on his
Earthbound
desk.
Because I have 2 of them on my desk, or I had 2 of them. And no, it's totally fine. Carboni is a really big Earthbound fan, and we're Earthbound buds. Why is everyone looking at me like I'm crazy?
You're a real
okay,
nice
buddy?
boy.
You're a real
You
nice
all right?
boy.
Real nice boy.
Are you all right, man?
Do
Do
we
we
need
need to pray? That was an Earthbound reference. Shout out to Earthbound, y'all.
Are we not joining? Are we not joining?
No,
hands?
it was an
Nah.
Earthbound reference.
Damn.
Jim Sahota says, "What's your favorite job?"
Did Jim
before-"
get 2 questions? Because I thought you said Jim
I thought it was Jim
Pajova.
Pajova. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Jim got 2 questions.
Greedy little.
Oh, and shout out to
little
Danny
mix.
Juarez
He
once
wins.
again for giving me all of the PSX cards.
Yeah,
What's
Danny-
your
Danny Juarez is a
favorite?
cool dude.
What's your favorite job before IGN? I don't know.
Acting, I guess. I don't know.
I had a bunch of real bad
I
ones.
had a lot of retail jobs. I was a busboy for a while. I was a waiter
You
for
were
a while.
directed by Steven Spielberg, so that's the answer.
You were in
and Martin
Kingdom of the Crystal
Scorsese.
Skull.
I wasn't kidding with the curse.
You played awkward college boy.
I played awkward college boy in most of them.
You realize you can stop playing that guy. Crushed it. I was
Crunch.
a crunch.
You were quiet Jewish guy in the background, number 850.
My favorite, quite atheist guy in the background.
Really?
I really like. I did an episode of Law & Order SVU that Jorah Baird was in, and she wasn't in the room when we were the jury, and we had to shoot these reaction shots to her like testimony or whatever, and so. They were like pointing to us and they were like, okay, you like look real sad about it. You look like really mad. And they pointed to me and they were like, you're real tired. Like you had a bad night's sleep. Just like you're looking at your watch. You want to leave. You're in a rush. You just like look like you're just real bored. And so I do that.
Real bored.
And then the episode airs. And it's like her awful story about how she was like assaulted and like how like all this like awful stuff happened to her. And then like it cuts to me and I'm like, and I'm like, wow, they made me play the biggest asshole.
Hang on.
Oh my God.
They made you wear 2 watches. So I was Andrew always makes fun of me for this, but I was a musician. I was a musician for a long time, and
He said job.
I got paid. I paid my rent, so I
There you
consider
go.
it. Yeah. So that was the best job. That was my favorite job.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You were a bassist, right?
Yeah, I am a bassist. Yeah,
Still are.
yeah,
Once a bassist, always a bassist. Are bassists the ones that
Take
people
the
say?
face out of the boy.
Are bassists the ones that people say are crazy in the band, or is that drummers?
That's drummers.
I feel like it's both.
No, it's drummers.
Actually, I think it's anyone in the band is an insane person.
I saw
true.
the hit film Whiplash. I know what happens when you're a drummer.
Yeah,
You get
punch
in a
a
car
hole.
accident
You
and
punch a
someone
whole
calls you
drum.
real bad names.
When I was in college, I was the entertainment editor at the school newspaper, and it was awesome. And they paid me a lot of money.
Nerd.
And I was like sleeping with the receptionist, and it was like the office.
Oh, whoa.
It was the best. It was
great.
wonderful. Yeah,
Good work, man.
she left
You
me.
did
It
Dirt
was
dog.
terrible.
I take it back. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I called you in here.
I wrote the first video game I ever reviewed was there, and it was Lost via Damus.
Ugh, sorry
That
about that.
Ubisoft gem. I bought that game too because I was a big Lost fan, and I was like, oh, this is not great.
Really was in that.
I worked for a telemarketing company, but like after the first day, they were like, "We can't put this dude on the phones." So they had this other job for me, which was basically they would give me a stack of cards every day, and I would have to go to like parking lots and put the cards in all the people's cars. But I realized no one ever checked, so they would give me a stack of cards, and I would drive to the parking lot, and I would throw it in the trash. And then I would go home all day and just hang out. And around 5, I'd drive back in. I'd be like, all done. And the guy was like, so if I went down to that parking lot, I would see a bunch of cards on those cars, right? And I'd be like, I mean, I don't know. Like a lot of the cars drove away. And he'd be like, all right, here's your $10 or whatever. And then I did that for like 2 months before they were like, you're putting those cards in the trash, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you can't work here anymore. I was like, all right, this worked out for everybody.
Can you imagine if Brian was a telemarketer and called you at your place of residence one night, just like you're trying to eat dinner and Brian calls you up and you answer the phone, just like, hey, Brad,
Well, here's
trying
the
to sell you
problem.
some stuff.
I used to be very anti-government, and I found out that the people I was working for were trying to raise money for the cops baseball league. So I had to be like, hello, would you like to give $100 to cops so they can play sports instead of being cops? So I did that on the first day, and they were like, you can't call people like that.
Oh, wow.
So I had to stop. But yeah, that was fun. I actually, I kind of missed the age of having a job that you didn't care about at all.
Yeah.
Because, you would just stop showing up, and they'd be like, do you work here anymore? And you'd be like, do I? And they're like, no. And you'd be like, well, that worked out. Nice to meet you, Rick.
Yeah,
Good luck with the Staples Enterprise.
I miss working at a coffee shop where there were just no stakes. The worst thing was if I'm hungover, I burn myself.
Yep.
I scald myself on hot milk.
Well, high
I
stakes,
never really
actually.
had that kind of job. My first job was at EB Games, and I worked for that company for 6 years.
Wow.
How was
I loved
that?
it.
Were you just cashier?
Yeah.
Or I guess
I just spoke
everything's
to people
probably
about video games. And
Yeah.
they would walk up to me and be like, my son likes this, and what else should I get him? And I was like, let's do this.
See,
I
they,
really
they
enjoyed
get
it.
they get a lot of crap from people for their they're kind of ridiculous practices and wrapping up used games and selling them as new and trade backs and stuff like that being too expensive. But if you're gonna work retail, to be in a store full of video games where people come in and get to talk to you about video games is really
super
awesome.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that. We get to do it all the time, just talk about video games, but a lot of people don't really get that at home with their friends. So I think
and
it's an awesome
I
thing.
go to the one on Market Street once every couple months, and the people are awesome.
Yeah.
nice store.
they're fans of the podcast and everything, fans of
Fans
ideas,
of the
so-
genre.
They're fans of the genre. Are gonna love the GameStop on 4th and Market.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sold my PS3 there.
Yeah. Come for the game. Stay
time.
for
Beyond.
Stay for the stench of urine that permeates every corner around it. I swear that there's a train station right outside of that store that I swear 100 people in synchronicity piss on every night.
Yeah,
like I think it's just like
happens.
the clock strikes 12 and people are just 100 people pissing on the stairs at once, and then they all disappear like little gremlins.
You've never gone to the Cool Midnight Pee? It's just a classic San Francisco experience.
Brian's always
You're in for a treat.
You just get out there, the clock strikes midnight, and you just have a real nice tea right on the street.
Brian's always a soft maybe on those events.
Oh, yeah.
No, I go
might be
across the
there.
street to the 2 a.m. wet hard dunks on the street. There's 100 people just taking a big, huge turds at once.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I've never done that.
You're not wrong.
No, I don't think I could ever.
Did we
take
do
a
it?
dump.
Did we finish them?
We did all the questions.
We went through all of them.
Yeah.
I have no idea how long that episode was.
I don't know.
We
It was a
didn't
good
cuss too much
holiday
either.
time.
That
Probably
was good.
really long.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for listening. We're going to be back after the break with real episodes. This might be the first or second of holiday episodes. Max wants to be on one. He was real upset that we recorded without him.
Sorry,
but
Max.
We'll get him.
Love you, buddy.
Sorry,
We'll
Max.
get him.
You can follow us all on Twitter and read our cool things and watch our cool videos. I am on Twitter at McBiggity. Andrew, where are you?
I thought you said McBiggity.
At McBiggity Andrew. His new Twitter handle.
We're sharing a Twitter now.
Yeah, joint.
I'm at Garfep.
What should people?
Garfep.
Is there anything you're proud of? Is there anything people should, or do you just want people to watch something to be good or anything?
Everybody play Persona.
All right, Alana, where can people find you?
I'm at Charolanazon. Comes up. Apparently, I've been told if you put in CHARA, so you'll get that.
Yeah, is that a digital monster? A Digimon?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crush it. Anything? We did a cool toy video. That'll be up by the time this goes up, right?
Yeah.
What'd you guys do?
Around the office thing. You literally just
Oh,
you shot
you
it
were in that
20
video.
minutes ago, which was
in that.
during this podcast. You shot that video during this podcast.
I know.
It was amazing. We were
was
all
so
really
fast.
impressed.
Time to stop for you to the beginning of the podcast. You said 20 minutes ago, but that was like 2 hours ago.
Yep.
I know that's what I.
That's
just
the joke,
referenced
buddy.
that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wasn't really listening.
That's okay.
We're almost there. We're
I don't
almost at
really
the end,
listen when
guys.
you talk.
You're a
No.
monster.
So
Zach,
close.
Yeah, you can follow me at ZachariasD. And if you are gonna go watch a cool video, make it my Final Fantasy 7 in 7 minutes. video.
yes,
right.
which is
Yes, you should
actually
watch
an
that.
incredible video.
I'm actually
Also,
pretty excited to see that myself.
Brian, where are you? What are you doing?
I'm at Pen15 Club _ penis. No, at Agent Bizzle. Come follow me on Twitter. I do dumb things over there. Let's see. You can join the Podcast Beyond Facebook group and get your questions read on the next show. Go listen to my album, Misanthrope. It's fun. It's free. It's 35 minutes long.
It's one of Brian Altano's favorite albums.
One of my favorite albums.
You do have it in your house. You have the album cover frame.
I do.
But that art is incredible, to be fair.
Yeah. It was done by the wonderful Panda Musk. Who's
Panda Musk
Friend
is
of the
great.
show.
And Max and I do another show called The Comedy Button. Christmas break's a good time to catch up to it. It's like 207 episodes, and they're all kind of timeless in that they're not about topical news. So, I mean, they're not timeless like
Yeah.
like a
Just
what a
funny.
classic,
I know what you meant,
Classics.
but it's just funny.
207 of
a
them.
modern American classic. It's us in 1984.
Yeah. If you go back and listen, pretty much you'll hear a bunch of familiar voices from Beyond.
You're actually on.
Beyond.
You're on a recent episodes.
Yeah.
A bunch of recent. episodes.
Andrew's been on him. Greg Miller's been on him. Colin's been on him.
Yeah. I'll
Jared
get
Petty.
I'll get you two juggalos on pretty soon. I don't know why I called you juggalos.
That was a weird choice, but
I mean,
I'm
I'm
cool with
still-
it.
yeah.
I'm still thinking about that terrible dick joke, so we all make mistakes.
You are IGN's Juggalos, though. So congratulations. Y'all
Cool.
done
Cool.
Terrible dick joke is actually what they want to call next year's ICP convention.
it. Are you going to send me to it again?
Yeah, we're gonna send.
I can't believe I dressed
Nobody
up in
saw
cat
that.
makeup and it never got released.
Yeah,
I
nobody
know.
saw that.
For Andrew Goldfarb, Alana Pierce, Zach Ryan, and Brian Altano, I am Marty Sleva. This has been Podcast Beyond. We love you. Beyond.
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 Beyond. Beyond.